Hey buds, this is Josh from Kitchen Nerd Boy YouTube channel. Tonight I'm making my first cooking video. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to make pork fried rice. I made a delicious pork roast last night on my smoker outside, and Jamie and I really enjoyed it, but it was just too much for the both of us to eat. So tonight we're going to use those leftovers and we're going to make a delicious meal. We're going to make some brown rice, chop up some vegetables, get some amazing flavors in that pan, a little bit of saltiness, a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweetness, do everything, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Alright, so what we're going to do today is we're going to cook some rice. And I'm going to use something that I love to use in the kitchen all the time, which is this little automatic rice cooker. It has a lot of different applications, not just cooking rice, but it does cook the rice really well, and it's easy to use. It lets me do like a no-think cook process, and that's great because I'm lazy. I don't like to work, I don't like to think, and that's what this does, is it takes all that away from you. You can get these at the big box store, 10 or 15 bucks for this little 3-cup rice cooker, and I use it all the time. It was a really good investment. Now, it will cook 1, 2, or 3 cups of rice, but I recommend sticking to 2 cups of rice or 1 cup, because it just, in my experience, it seems like it's overworking a little bit to try to cook 3 cups of rice. And normally with white rice, you do 1 part rice and 2 parts of water, and then whatever kind of seasonings you want. You throw them all in there, you hit the button, you walk away, you come back 20-30 minutes, you got delicious rice, and it'll stay warm after it turns off, which is really good if you're cooking other things and you want to keep your rice warm while you're preparing your meal. Now today, I'm cooking brown rice. And brown rice is a little bit different than white rice in that it's got the natural husk still on it, which is going to provide you with extra vitamins and nutrients. It's got a great texture, really good flavor. The challenge is with the brown rice, you want to use a little more water to increase the cooking time on this type of cooker. So normally I would use 2 parts of water with the white rice. I'm going to use 2.5 to 3 parts of water with this brown rice. So I've got a cup of brown rice, I've got 2.5 cups of water, and we're going to stick that all in here and see how it turns out. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is plug this bad boy up right here. The light's on. Drop the bowl in. Drop in some brown rice. And the water. Now, what you would normally do, you could put some salt and pepper in here, or you could just cook it like this. Today I'm going to take one of these little chicken bouillon cubes, like what you can make the cheap broth out of, and pop it over in there, and then a little pad of butter, just because I'm a bad boy, I like adding fat and flavors to things. Put on the lid right here, push the button. About 30 minutes, you'll have delicious, perfectly cooked brown rice. Alright, the button just popped on the rice cooker. Oh yeah. We got some good, creamy rice here. Perfect. Can't wait to get it in this fried rice over here. Alright, now I'm going to prep my ingredients. I've just got a few simple ingredients here, some leftover onions, some leftover bell pepper, some garlic, ginger, a little serrano chili because I like a little heat in my stir fry, and I've got some black sesame seed, and then I've also got the leftover pork roast from the smoking yesterday. So always prep your vegetables first before your meat, and then that way you don't get any cross-contamination from the meat. So take the steel to my knife here, make sure we got a good straight edge on the edge there, and got a pretty sharp knife here. So, which is good because a sharp knife is a safe knife. Yeah, I just love doing stir fry, because you can take leftovers like this, and see I've still got a little bit left over. I'm not going to use all of that. And you can continue to stretch them out. Yeah, a little more, just a little bit more pepper to mix out that onion there. And you prep everything first. And the cool thing about stir fry too is you can use anything. This is just what I had in the refrigerator. You could use carrots, celery, asparagus, any kind of vegetables. See, recipes, I hate recipes because they make, especially beginning chefs, slaves to them. Use, a half cup of this or a teaspoon of that, and I just like to cook everything to taste. I put what I like in it, what I think tastes good, and I love garlic and ginger in stir fry. It's pretty classic flavors there, but they just give it that pop and that kick that you need. And I'm gonna chop this ginger up here pretty fine. And I'm actually going to use this garlic and ginger to flavor the oil before I start sauteing the vegetables in there. I'm not the best with the knife skills, but you don't have to be, a master chef. Alright. Crush the garlic here, and then the husk of it just comes right off. That's the way you peel garlic. Yeah. And chop that up as well. And we will actually kind of mix this garlic and ginger together here. Oh, it's already smelling good. Just these natural raw vegetables. Alright. And you always want to prep all your ingredients before you start to cook, because especially stir fry, because the stir fry, once it gets going, it's just bat. It's real quick. So you can actually do this ahead of time, or use, when you're chopping up and your vegetables and you have leftovers, go on and chop them, put them in a little container like this right here. You can get like a pack of these from a big box store for a couple bucks, and they're just ready to go when you get home from work. And I just go ahead and leave the seeds in there from my taste, because I like it spicy. If you want it less spicy, you could just kind of trim off the outside like I did with that bell pepper earlier, and leave the seeds and the pith and stuff on the inside there. And just give them a little rough chop there. Alright, now then, got all my vegetables prepped. So another thing I like to do is take one of these little thin plastic cutting boards and go ahead and get all my ingredients on there, because I'm going to just dump that all in the pan at the same time when I get ready to cook, and I can transfer it around the kitchen pretty easily. Okay. There we go. Bring this over here next to the pot. And go ahead and put my leftover veg back in the kitchen refrigerator. Into the refrigerator. Use it again tomorrow. Now I'm going to cube my meat. And this was really good. You can see I had a little bit of a smoke ring there on that, if you can see that there. It was really, really good. I liked it. And I'm just going to do these into little 1/2-inch cubes. It's really important to try to get especially your meat uniformly. Yeah, for me and Jamie tonight that'll probably be enough, but you want to get them uniform, so do little 1/2-inch slits that way, and then come back this way and do 1/2-inch cubes there. And you can use any kind of meat for this too. You can use pork, chicken, or beef. You can use fresh and just fry it up right before, stir fry it right before you get started. I just happen to have this leftover, so that's what I'm using tonight. And again, you can use any kind of meat, any kind of vegetables, any kind of seasonings, just whatever you have in your cabinet, whatever you like. That's the way you do it. So I've got my ingredients all prepped. So now I'm gonna get my pan on the stove, get the oil going in it, and we will finish this dish up. All right, we're gonna start with a pretty high heat, maybe medium high there. For stir fry, you want it hot, you want it fast. And I'm just using a wok that I got at the Asian store. I love this thing. It's really, really good. It says made in Korea. Alpha is the brand of that. I don't know if that's a good brand or not, but I've been using this a long time and I love it. Got some classic Asian type American Asian, some sherry cooking wine, sesame seed oil, soy sauce. That's where I'm going to get my salt from. White pepper. I love white pepper for stir fry. And sesame seeds. And that's pretty much it. Alright, I can feel the heat coming up here. I'm not touching the pan. I'm just holding my hand over it. And there's a lot of radiant heat coming off there. So I'm just using some peanut oil here. Probably about a teaspoon or a tablespoon or two of the oil there. Let that get hot. And you can tell it's hot because it'll dance around on the plate like more like water, on the pan more like water. You know, when it's room temperature, oil's kind of viscous, it's kind of thick, and when it comes up to temperature it moves easier. And start off with our garlic and ginger that we chopped up there earlier, and that's what you want to hear. You want to hear that sizzle. And we're flavoring the oil right here. And garlic burns really fast, so I want this to come up to temperature really fast. I mean, this is going to come up to temperature really fast. As soon as you start to smell it, you want to go ahead and throw your veg in. And the veg is going to cool that pan back off so that that garlic doesn't burn, which is really easy with this high heat that we've got going here. And we're going to soften these vegetables up a little bit. We don't want to get them too soft. We want them to still have some bite to them. So toss them in the oil. That oil is going to help that heat transfer to the vegetables. Again, we've got onions, bell pepper, garlic, those serrano peppers for the heat, and the ginger. Oh, and it smells amazing. I wish you could smell it right now. It is delicious. We're cooking with our eyes, we're cooking with our nose, and we're cooking with our mouth. As we go through this, I'm going to season to taste. I used to hate hearing chefs on TV say season to taste, or reading, internet internet recipes, because I was a new cook. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was looking to these people for advice, and I was saying, I need you to tell me if it's 1 tablespoon of salt, or if it's 2 teaspoons of black pepper or white pepper or ground pepper or whatever. Everybody's taste is different. Some people like things saltier, some people can't handle the salt, some people like things sweeter, some people like things hotter. So you cook it to suit your taste. Alright, now we've soaked up all that oil here, and we've got some good smells and heat going here. So I'm going to take a little bit of this sherry cooking wine and Just put a little bit of that in there, and that's going to bring a whole another flavor to the dish there. Oh, and it smells so good. I wish you could smell that. And we're going to let that moisture just kind of cook out here. This is going to go really, really fast, this whole process. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of white pepper. And I don't have a recipe I'm following. I just kind of do what I want here. A little bit of soy sauce for some of that Asian salty goodness there. Not a whole lot. It's got a strong flavor, and we're going to add some more soy sauce to the rice when we add that. And again, I just know that because I've cooked this dish a lot, and that's what you got to do. You got to get in the kitchen. You got to burn some vegetables. You've got to get some practice. And you got to figure out what you like. And this is a big no-no, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to reach in the pan here and grab a little piece of this onion here so I can try it out. Yep, that onion's still got some crunch to it, got some heat from the serranos. Another thing that I like to do if I don't have serranos, I love heating all my Asian dishes. I'll just take some sriracha or some sambal, or just any kind of hot sauce. You could just use Frank's hot sauce for that matter. All right, they're soft, they're pliable, they still got a little bit of crunch to them now. So, next thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of butter here. I know it's not healthy, but butter's delicious. I do like cooking healthy dishes, but today I'm being bad. I'm using butter. And I'm just going to fry an egg, because that's what you do in classic Asian stir fry. If you've ever been to the hibachi, fry that egg and then get it really hot. I mean, you almost want to overcook it. You don't want a raw eggy taste in your stir fry. Still got that high to medium high heat. And just let that egg cook. We don't want any runny parts. We want it to almost start to crisp up. The other cool thing about this is a non-stick wok. It's got a really heavy bottom which holds and transfers that heat really good, well, but nothing sticks in this thing. When I get done with this, I can just take a paper towel and wipe it out, and I'm done cleaning. All right. So now the egg is about done. So there we go. I'm not real good at that. We got a little pit flying there. And now we're going to toss in our meat. And this meat was cold out of the refrigerator, so it's going to take a minute to come up to heat, which is fine. And we're going to let, I'm not really cooking the meat, I'm just heating it up. It's already cooked. Oh, it smells amazing. I think it looks pretty good too. Alright, let me get a little bit more of that cooking wine in there just to kind of deglaze the bottom, because there was a little bit sticking on the bottom there. Yeah, and it's cooking out of there really quickly, which is good. And now, I'm going to toss our rice down in there. And I like my stir fry rice crispy and crunchy. I mean, it's fried rice. So I'm just going to kind of push the veg out of the way, get the rice right there on the bottom, and just let it sit there. Just let it get a little crust on the bottom there. Everything is kind of, as you add ingredients, it cools the pan down, so I'm letting it come back up to heat. And I promise you it's not burning. It's just sitting there. There we go. It's getting brown on the bottom, and that's what I want. When I cook fried rice, when I eat fried rice, I want real fried rice. Another reason I like fried rice, I know I cooked the rice tonight because I didn't have any, but if you make white rice and you got leftovers, put them in the fridge in one of those little resealable containers and just let it sit overnight. And cold fried rice, in my opinion, makes even better. Cold white rice makes even better fried rice than fresh rice. A little more pepper. A little more soy sauce. They call it Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper at the hibachi, but it's just soy sauce. Alright, and that's what gives it that beautiful brown flavor if you've got the right white rice. And now, pretty much we're done. Just going to let it fry for a little bit, get all the rest of that moisture from the soy sauce out of there. Another thing, if you do have people in your household or company that's coming over that is sensitive to soy sauce, or sensitive to salt rather, you can just use low sodium soy sauce, because you can always add regular soy sauce later or more. Always, always, always taste what you're cooking. So I'm going to give it a little taste. Oh yeah, I can get that heat from the peppers. I got the saltiness. I mean, it's perfect now for me, but I am not beyond adjusting my flavors after I taste. Alright, so I'm going to add just a little bit of, this stuff is super strong, but it's got a great flavor, just sesame oil, just a little bit of sesame oil. You want to do this right at the end because it'll burn real easy. Cut my heat off. Just a very, very small bit goes a long way. And put a little bit of this black sesame seeds in. Oh yeah, they give a great color. Got that wooden bowl. Alright, got us a pretty little wooden bowl here, and again, if you like spicy, but maybe somebody in your family or your company doesn't, just leave the peppers out and then hit it with the sriracha on your plate. Perfect. Get you some spicy mayo, mix up a little mayo, sriracha, paprika, some soy sauce, maybe a little honey, offset that heat, and yeah, good stuff. Thanks for watching. See you later, buds.